Thank you so much. Thank you, Committee for Justice, and Usman Memat, the Honorable Commissioner Hatim, the Chair of the Fact-Finding Mission of the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, for the important work you're doing with the joint fact-finding mission, distinguished civil society delegates that are here, Your Excellencies. We appreciate all of you. We must, as we continue to celebrate what happened this morning in terms of this adoption of a joint declaration, I think is a very important, significant one that should be the basis for the work that we plan to, collaboration, especially with civil society by both mandates. I will want to recognize my colleagues, experts, including our chairman, Honorable Justice Othman Chand, former CJN of Tanzania, who is the chair of the fact-finding mission. We are three experts or commissioners, and Muna Rishwani, who is a member, and myself. And I'm here representing us and the secretariat, our secretariat in Kenya, Nairobi, Kenya, that is ably coordinated by Caroline Bossman. Some of you may have interacted with her, especially the NGOs, the civil society. In terms of our mandate, the general mandate is very clear to all of you. We were established by the Human Rights Council, and in 2023, we've been extended twice, in 2024 and 2025. And our mandate will also end in October this year. FFM Sudan, we are mandated to investigate and establish facts, circumstances, and root causes surrounding violations of international human rights and international humanitarian law in the ongoing conflict that has engulfed Sudan. Our mandates include gathering and preserving evidence. It's quite extensive, identifying those responsible with a view to making recommendation on accountability and cooperating with judicial and other mechanisms. We have issued a lot of reports, and like I said, our mandate expires end of September, but we'll be also reporting to General Assembly in October. On November 14th, November 2025, the Council held a special session through which they mandated us to investigate the situation in what happened in El Fasher. Resolution 38-1 requested FFM Sudan to conduct an urgent inquiry into the recent violation and abuses that happened with the fall of El Fasher. Where possible, and all those that are responsible for us to, and we did that report February of 2026 at the 61st session of the Human Rights Council. And that focused basically on El Fasher and its surroundings. However, we know that this has escalated to other regions, like particular Kordofan, and the early warning signs are there. And it will be a priority of our reporting in September to also look at other areas, because with the El Fasher, people were asking, we said we haven't forgotten. We've been, writing our report and conference room paper on all of the conflict, and we continue to monitor all of Sudan. And we hope in September to cover Khartoum, Jazeera, Blue and White Niles, amongst others. So, and in terms of cooperation, which is also what this is about today, that the Committee for Justice is organized with both mandate, strengthening civil society engagement with both fact-finding mission of the African Commission and the UN. And this is an important one for which we are very happy that Open Society Foundation is also supporting a Committee of Justice to be able to do this, and importantly, be able to bring Sudanese civil society and human rights defenders to this. We know all the funding constraint, and the funding constraint is not restricted to civil society. even for us as mandates, we are not, our secretariat is not fully empaneled, but we're very happy to report that we got additional investigator. We know the situation with the UN and the rest of the world so that is also, but we have not allowed that to impact our work, but the quality of work and what we've been able to do. So in terms of cooperation, we've been mandated to cooperate with other relevant actors, including judicial entities, to ensure, including judicial entities to avoid duplications of work and further accountability. So you can understand, coming from this background, why this partnership with the African Commission, joint fact-finding, and us and civil society is very imperative. Avoiding duplication, emphasizing complementarity, and continuously engaging with relevant UN and AU entities. It doesn't stop with the African Commission on Human and People's Rights. We have consulted with the UN Special Advisor of the Secretary General for Prevention of Genocide, the AU Special Envoy on the Prevention of Genocide and Mass Atrocities actually was also in our accountability workshop last year in Kenya, the UN representative of the Secretary General on Sexual Violence in Conflict, the AU Joint Fact-Finding Commission on Human and People's Rights. We've interacted with them even in Geneva and before now, several Zoom, even as they go on mission and as we come back from mission, we are permanently interfacing with them. So they, before they went to I think it was Chad, January 2026, we discussed with them, we had meeting with them, and also in March this year, also in Geneva, they had a side event. We also participated, and my colleague was also there. And we had in April issued a joint press release, and now we are doing this. We had this declaration together. So our work is cut for us, and we're not shying away with it. And with the help of stakeholders here in this room, we've been able to keep this at the front burner of international discussion, because as we know, immediately after our report on El Fasher, we saw the interest of all the media around the world. Even some Africans didn't know that this type of conflict and this was going on. The worst humanitarian disaster, the displacement of people, the mass disappearances, detention, arbitrary sexual and gender-based violence, they're all very, we've all documented this. In terms of access to Sudan and neighboring states, we have, as you are aware, we've requested access from the Sudanese authorities in Port Sudan on multiple occasions. And you can hear from what happened today, it looks like they never intend to grant us that. It has not received any response, but we keep knocking at the door, and we welcome engagement and dialogue with Sudan on the issue. We have had access to neighboring countries where Sudanese population have taken refuge, in particular Chad, Kenya, South Sudan, and Uganda. I personally was in South Sudan this January to see things firsthand, and I was in Gorom settlement, where 90% of those who fled from Sudan came from El Fasher. And the fact that given funding constraint, that even people that are there at the settlement, some of them have not been registered and some have not received any intervention, especially for women victims and survivors of sexual and gender-based violence, not even getting psychological, medical support or interim reparation is something that is quite sad. I know time is of essence. I want to just assure you that despite the challenges we have had, we've been able to conduct remote interviews, closed-door group consultation with Sudanese witnesses and survivors with direct relevant knowledge of the events that our investigation has been undertaking. Our staff have been on ground in all these countries multiple times, apart from the commissioners and experts that have undertaken missions ourselves to Chad, to Uganda on multiple occasions, to Kenya, to Addis. And we urge all states to continue to cooperate with us. And it's also the role of civil society to continue to give us that space. So apart from the liquidity crisis of the UN and how that impacted on investigative bodies such as us, we still have about 40% of posts filled since the establishment of the secretariat. So my final intervention will just focus on the role of civil society. The civil society, we have developed as a fact-finding mission terms of reference and guidance for civil society organizations and others seeking to cooperate with the independent international fact-finding mission on Sudan, which guides the cooperation. You will see it in our website, and is to mitigate protection concerns. The mission, as you know, in order for us to mitigate protection concern, the mission conducts security assessment, takes appropriate measures, and follow up on reports received of acts of intimidation or reprisal by maybe civil society or human rights defenders that are cooperating with the mission. The mission also invites interested individual groups and organizations to submit, to make submissions, information, documentation of relevance to any violation and related crimes committed in Sudan through periodic calls via our website. And there have been enormous response to this. To ensure confidentiality and protection of sources, the mission provides secure channels for submission of confidential materials, statement, reports, videos, audio recording, contacts, and we follow international best practice in terms of triangulation and verification of those information. The CSOs also choose whether or not how they want to be referenced, because this is important. If you don't want your name to be mentioned, we will not mention your name due to protection concern. Reprisal attacks is real. A lot of human rights defenders have been detained. Some also disappeared. So the mission, if you don't want your name to appear, we will not mention it. And for victims, do no harm principle, we observe everything. The mission will also undertakes consultation with CSOs on thematic areas. For instance, May 2025 in Nairobi, we had a consultation on accountability pathways, and we plan some other consultation, including on world economy, including on other areas that are vital. The role of CSO is further evidence in the inclusion. For example, you will see some of the things and information that you'll gather that will also reflect that. And now you see in our enhanced interaction that emphasizes the importance of the role of civil society, that they are now part of that. So when we present our report before the Human Rights Council, their interventions following the oral update we do in June is very important, and that has been recognized and integrated in the resolution. So given the critical role that CSOs play in international accountability, I believe today's discussion, which is focusing on strengthening and streamlining CSO engagement with both mission, is timely and is one whose time has come. We look forward to maximizing the combined effort and capacity of both missions in order to achieve our respective mandates. We of course understand the distinction between both mandates, and our work is not exactly to harmonize the mandate, but within that mandate to find commonalities to work together, which we have done, I think, excellently well. So finally, in terms of recommendation going forward for civil society, we expect them to continue to lobby for implementation of recommendations coming from both fact-finding mission. Because if this document, like the declaration that happened today, are not taken forward, by locals, by activists, then it will not be in front burner of both national, regional, and international discourse. So they need to also work in a collaborative manner with both UN fact-finding mission and SSPCR fact-finding joint FFM. So that collaborative approach to at least harmonize and streamline work is one that is very important. They need to also work towards making sure that the conflict does not take the back burner. That conflict is at the front burner of international discussion and continue to get attention. That's why the work of Committee for Justice is very important. So finally, I think they need to advocate, even as civil society, that as we seek for political solution, that issue of accountability must be on the peace table and must not take the back burner because this is very important. And for our mandate, like I told you, when it's ending, I think it's with the work of civil society that they have also lobbied for extension of that mandate, including finding relevant money sources, funding from both UN and others to support the work of the mandate. So thank you. I'll stop so far, and if there are questions, I will take at the end. Thank you very much.